Hey, how's it going, guys? ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to give you my review of the Immortals Fenyx Rising. Now, even though the name Gods and Monsters is far better name, I gotta say, this game surprised me in a good way too, because the game initially I was not really so much into it, if that makes any sense. Like before the release, before anything regarding it. Now, I was only interested because Breath of the Wild elements that it has, and there were some leaked gameplay too. It has a lot of the inspirations taken from the Breath of the Wild as well, and I can definitely see that. But of course, this is still as a Ubisoft title, and yeah, there is going to be a lot of the repetitive quests and things that needs to be done. But I gotta say, reason of why I think this game does far better than any other recent Ubisoft games, such as Assassin's Creed as one of the bigger examples, or The Division, that could be a good example too. You know, there's always some kind of overbearing, too many collections, collectibles, 100%ing the whole map. It's simply ridiculous. And basically, in this case, the game is a lot smaller in scale. Like, it took me around just a bit more than 16 hours to complete, but also I was taking my sweet time with it as well. So, you know, I've done everything that I wanted to. Now I'll be going for a platinum trophy on this game. It's a very good game, definitely worth it. And I like the way it's not that big of a game either. It has plenty of puzzles similar to Breath of the Wild, but they're not as complicated as you would initially be expecting. But there is some issues of the difficulty of the puzzles that they can be. You can exploit those puzzles quite damn relatively easily if you know what you're doing, and you know, just be more observant, pay attention to surroundings and stuff like that, and you can actually find a lot of ways that you can, like I said, you can exploit those puzzles. Basically, you know, pretty much skipping a whole steps or not, or maybe even up to 2 to 3 steps. So yeah, increasing the time, decreasing the time of this game. So basically, also the puzzles, like I've touched on, there are some puzzles that can be extremely but difficult, but also there are a lot of other puzzles that are very easy to figure out. So there's not much of consistency of being challenging or not. So perhaps there's that. I don't know if that's considered to be a bad thing though. Maybe it was necessary steps to be taken like that. Yet again, they're not that challenging for you to be bashing your head around it. Just take your time and you'll figure it out. Also, I gotta mention, open world elements of the puzzles, there's a little bit of a problem. If you guys are familiar with the Assassin's Creed games, there's always an eagle eye that you can actually use, right? So basically you can scout out the surrounding areas. A lot of things will be highlighted for you, what you can interact with. In this game, there's no such thing. The only closest thing that you can do is the observation mode. You know, basically holding the R3 button, if that makes sense, the analog stick anyway. When you hold it, you can actually explore, and you can find different explorations points of where there could be an activity there could be a collectible there. But also, this doesn't really work for this game. It's too slow and I don't want to do it. I rarely did it. But anyway, that's not the issue here. The issue mainly is that let's continue perhaps with the story, right? I personally think the story itself was very, very cheesy. I don't really like it, but I like the way he has went about it. It is endearing, it is engaging story though. Zeus as an example, he's pretty annoying. He's not Zeus, he's not almighty and stuff like that. He's pretty annoying. And I mean, I understand, like I said, the story is cheesy. It's not supposed to be all like dark and, you know, anything regarding that. But still, I gotta say though, the world is beautiful. Like, it really is beautiful. It's far more kind of a realistic to the touch, more than the Breath of the Wild. Still, I gotta say, like, puzzles in this game are very well done too, and there's so many different styles of puzzles as well. Very creative. There's also a lot of different types of NPCs, different enemies types too. The game does a lot of things right, I gotta say. It's actually a pretty phenomenal job that's been done as a brand new IP for the Ubisoft. Now, if I would want to have a sequel for this game, I think I would, but I hope it's not gonna go with the larger in scale. Please don't. Make the same size style map, even go ahead, make it smaller, because the map was just right, and actually I would even condense it a little bit more. in my personal opinion, because like at this point I'm so sick of playing these ginormous maps that Ubisoft always develops, like Assassin's Creed, Valhalla. They got the biggest map ever. It's just too much. Gotta stop with that. Like 80 hours of story, always overblown to proportions that doesn't have any depth in the story. It's just too much. It's too much filler. It's too much side activities that you will need to be doing. No, that just doesn't work for that sort of a game. This is why Valhalla doesn't even seem to be one of the good Assassin's Creed games in my eyes. This, on the other hand, is actually one of the better Ubisoft games ever, well, at least to some extent, been released, and I'm very glad that. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to share my thoughts on this game and, give you my realistic approach of the game and what I think about it. There are some good things in here as well, for example, the customizations of the character, but all you do really is the changing your armor, and you can change your helmet. That's really is it. The other things that you can change is your wings when you'll be flying or winging around the place and stuff like that. You can change the look of your bird, or I should say Phoenix in this case, even though your name is Phoenix. It's pretty cool, I guess. The mounts, for example, like horses, giraffes, there's different types of like unicorns, or I don't know, like you can have different beasts that you can mount on. It's pretty fun to ride on them too. There's so much upgradability in this game, is insane. The skills, the portions that you can actually upgrade, you can increase. It is pretty overwhelming at times, but they are simplistic in terms of what needs to be done. And I think it actually does it even better than Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the skill points that you can be putting it into is ginormous and doesn't really do much of an impact of differences in terms of the gameplay. In this case, in this way, I actually do see different aspects of different powers that you have, and I can definitely, again, this is so much like the Breath of the Wild, and I really like it, to be honest. But yet again, guys, this is just my opinion. A lot of people may not agree with this, of course. The game is very good. Now, if it's full price worth the game, like for full price, yeah, I think so. What is it, $60? I think it's definitely worth it. Alright, well then, thank you so much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. See you guys all later. Have an awesome day, and yeah, have a good one.